Good morning. So, yesterday I was just a cooking fool. I made cornbread in the morning and I made veggie pie that night. And I would do a lot of things differently on the veggie pie. I was just flying by the seat of my pants and just throwing things together. I think I would have made the cheese sauce wetter, more milk, and I would have added milk, I think, to the eggs as well before I poured it in. So, because the vegetables turned out much drier than I thought they would. I was really surprised. Usually vegetables, when you cook them, release their juice, and this was just, I wouldn't call the pie dry by any means. It just didn't do what I thought it would. I'm going to have Maggie try it. And I would have added some seasoning if I could taste seasoning, probably Worcestershire sauce. I'll put it in the description under the veggie pie video. So, enough of that. I wanted to talk this morning about, someone had asked in one of my views that, I'm sorry, my eye is bothering me. One of my viewers asked me about how Dennis proposed to me, and I don't know, I don't think I covered it. And hello, I've got over 200 videos and I ain't going back and looking at them all. So if I repeat myself, I do apologize. So I'll start where I left off. I do believe in one of my other videos that Dennis and I and his friend Izzy were going around quite a bit, the three of us. And when Izzy went in for gas, I put my hand, we were in the car, Dennis's old baby blue Ford Maverick, an early one, like I don't know, it was a 70s or something like that. Excuse me, but coffee feels so good this early. I think it's like 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Anyway, so take me on a sentimental journey. Yeah, okay. All right, wake up now. So he said, I said, I like you, Dennis. And he said, I like you too, Nikki. Would you like to go to a movie? And we did go to a movie and dinner, and we just became each other's company almost daily. And we'd go with my daughter Rachel as well, all over the place. He would show me Plum Island, and I think that's Massachusetts, and we just tooled around. He loved to be in motion. He loved going places, and it was just a lot of fun. He spent his savings courting me. He did. So I remember him asking me if I'd ever consider getting married again. He was smitten, I do believe. And I remember saying, no, I don't think I want to ever get married again, Dennis. It was, my first marriage was really rough, really rough. I didn't know who I was marrying. I didn't know him, really. I didn't know any family or friends. He really only had his mother in this world. And I would learn that my first husband was abusive to women. And I won't go into that. I don't want to traumatize anybody. But I just didn't feel like marriage was necessary. I don't know what I was thinking, but I had that Christian ethic. Kind of one of the reasons I say Christianity ruined my life, but it didn't really. When I really think about it, the Christian ethic would come up in me. Here I am, I have a little girl. What kind of example am I to her? I'm running around with this man. I'm sleeping with this man. And I used to go to this food pantry because I was a single mom, and sometimes I'd be working and sometimes I wouldn't. And she talked to me about it. She said, you know, if this man really loved you, he'd marry you. And I knew that he probably would, but finally I said to him, look, Dennis, I have a little girl. And I think it was the guilt thing, you know. I have a little girl and we're living together at this point. And I just, you know, we were both raised in Christianity. And his mother was a staunch Catholic. And she'd say to me, don't think I don't know what my children are doing. I know they've all lived together like they're married when they're not. You know, before they got married, because all of them were, I do believe, at that time. And she was a little spitfire, that woman. Little teeny tiny, narrow, little fire and brimstone woman. Oh, she was tough. So, I said to Dennis, I said, you know, I think we ought to get married or I'm moving out. I just don't feel right about this anymore. And I don't know how much time passed between that. It was Mother's Day or near Mother's Day. It was after Easter. And he asked me and Rachel to meet him after work at Warren's Lobster House in Kittery, Maine. And it's still there, Warren's Lobster House. And we had gotten a nice seat right on the water view, you know. Oh, what a great restaurant that was. Ah, they had the most amazing salad bar and it had everything imaginable on it. I just loved that place. And so he comes in and we're sitting down talking and he says, oh, I need to go out in the car. I'll be right back. And he comes back in and he puts this big, long white box in front of me. I said, Dennis, what's this? Open it, he said. It was a dozen long stem red roses. Oh, it was so beautiful with baby's breath. You know, I love baby's breath. And then he gave me, let me show it to you. I'll be right back. And then, and then he sat this in front of me. It had a little pink egg inside. I've since lost the pink egg because over the course of years, Easter, and it somehow got mixed in with the rest, and then it probably got sent to the thrift store, but I still have the bunny in the little basket the egg was in. And I was like, I laughed. I mean, hello, Easter was over, right? It was Mother's Day. He probably found it for a bargain and decided that's how he would present it to me. And I opened the little pink egg, and inside it, stuffed into the cotton, was a diamond ring. Want me to show you that? I'll be right back. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's only 1/3 of a carat, but it's a very good quality. Our friend Woody, God rest his soul, sold it to Dennis. It was very expensive for the time. Remember Bon Jovi's song? Diamond ring, wear it on your hand. Let the whole world know that I'm your only man. Diamond ring, diamond ring. You'll be my everything, diamond ring. So, I said to him, because it was in a bunny and an egg, I said, "Is this real?" He was like, "Yes, it's real." He had just paid $600 for it, so I think he was a little insulted. And then I think the panic set in that this man was proposing to me, and I wasn't sure I really wanted to be married. I don't remember what happened after that. Isn't that funny? I remember so many things, but the waitress came over and she says, "Oh," you know, women, they just fall for that romance. And so I was engaged to Dennis. And that's how it went down. It's sad that we'd have an extremely rocky time going forward, because I'd have to get permission to be able to explain the rest of it, and I don't want to hurt anyone who is still living, in my videos. But Dennis and I would go through, I think, the greatest hell ever. I think that two people just starting out could ever go through. And that man, he had broad, strong shoulders to take everything that would happen after that. And he took it upon himself to be our protector. And I'll never forget that. He didn't have to stay when things went so severely south, but he stayed. I don't think I've ever known a love like that. Self-sacrificing, able to really bear the horror of it all. I had completely fallen apart from this event in our lives. I couldn't function after this horrible thing happened. I moved into his room. He just rented this room, a little efficiency, and me and Rachel just stayed there. And I'd often just be laying in bed. It was the most horrible time in my life. I stopped all of my cleaning jobs. I just couldn't function anymore. I even became suicidal from this event. I didn't want to live in that kind of world anymore. I just couldn't face how extremely evil humans could be. And he stuck with me through all of it. All of it. He paid for counseling. We went all together because he was crushed by this event too. And he'd call me like every couple hours from work. I know he was afraid that I'd do it and that I'd take Rachel with me. And he'd just say positive things and hopeful things and loving things. And I'd wait for his next phone call. And that's how we had to live our lives for a couple of months. Until I was able to garner the strength and the courage to press on. And it wouldn't go easy from there either. He was such a rock of strength for me. He really was. And I know you're thinking, oh, God, 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 but that was one of those times when I really felt there was no God and God wasn't there. Where was God? Some people say it could have been worse. Not in my mind. In my mind, not even death was worse than that event. So I took a beautiful story and went south with it. But that's a part of my story. Hard time in my life. Another one, right? It wasn't like my childhood and my first marriage wasn't bad enough. Then I had to have something else more horrendous than the rest of it thrown on top of that. I don't know. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. I'm not going to disclose the event because it involves one other person and they're innocent, and I don't, without permission from that person, I don't want to say any more, but I'm sure you could only imagine. That's my morning coffee chat. And I wish he was still here for me now. But he's not.